You're on. Dina.
Ready? Yeah. Well, I just want to say Kodesh Tov to everybody. I'm glad that I can share with so many friends. I'm glad that there's a Bas Medrash that cares about what we're about Torah and about Judaism. And thank you for being here. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be here.
Yay!
So today I'm talking about Halacha Shel Nero Shel Shabbat.
Run visuals. Okay, we need visuals.
Yes. So these candlesticks are very special to me. When I came to make Aliyah, it took up my one entire suitcase. I packed them in those boots so they would be safe. These were my great grandmother Miriam candlesticks from the 1800s.
From what country?
Pardon?
From what country?
Romania. And she spent most of her life in the US, but she started out in Romania, and she got these, I think, in Romania. So they're very, very important to me. It's probably my most precious thing. So those are the visuals. Hashem made a special promise to us. Shmartem nerot Shabbat, me'erav nerot shel Zion. If you will guard the mitzvah of Shabbos candles, he will show us the candles of Zion. And that is from the Hotlet Kah, and it's Malchut Shimoni is where it's from. And they say that the candles represent Malchut. When we do this mitzvah, as much more light is evoked and radiated out, increases light in the soul. Peace, harmony, intelligence, and holiness. Also, Malchut is the seventh day. That's when we light the candles. The seventh day, and then we are in the seventh millennium, where we're expecting Mashiach and expecting Gula. And when Hashem gave us the promise that we would see the candles of Zion, I always thought it meant Mount Zion. That's it. But in Jerusalem, which it does, but it also is a code word for Gula, the candles of Gula. So our lighting the candles are very, very important. And there's three reasons why we light Shalom Bayit, Kavod Shabbat, and Oneg Shabbat. The Gemara says that Shalom Bayit, it brings tranquility. And I also just thought, well, Shalom Bayit, that means that you're getting along with your husband, the people in your family, the friends that are in your house. But our body is the bayit of our soul, of our neshama. So when we say Shalom Bayit, we're really integrating the different parts of ourselves. When we feel that peace inside of it, when we light those candles, we can feel something inside that is Shalom Bayit. Then Kavod Shabbat, Ramah says, that's Rabbi Meir Abu Lafia, he said it dignifies the Shabbos table. And I was surprised to see how many, I went to a lot of sources, how many actually said that the candle should be on the Shabbos table. And I always thought they were on the side. They can be on the side, but the original, probably they have one place, one flat surface in many homes, and it was a Shabbos table. And then Oneg Shabbat, it illuminates the table and the meal. The lights of the candles are the lights of Malchut. Every Jewish home is a small mikdash. We do the micro of lighting the candles. Hashem does the macro, mida keneged nida, revealing the light and opening it out to the whole world. It reverberates out from our candles. So now I want to go to specific halakha, because when I asked Judy about doing something, I want to be part of the ending of learning the halakha. There's many years ago, 10 and a half, I came to the Bas Medrash and I said, you know, it's more about the spirit and the joy of being in Shabbat and feeling the love for God. And she said, well, if you don't learn the halakha, you're not even going to know when you violate Shabbos. You're not going to know that you're violating anything because you don't know the rules. I thought about that. I couldn't refute it. So now we've been learning for 10 years, and I've learned some halakha.
So when you came, you didn't know the halakha?
We didn't talk about halakha in anything that I was ever at, because I didn't come from an Orthodox family. I came from a Jewish family and an observant family, but
They were observant?
yeah, they were Torah observant, especially my grandparents' generation. But we didn't talk about the details. We did it kind of. So, okay, the number one rule of all the halakhas for lighting Shabbos candles is be on time. In fact, be early if you can be. Check what time Shabbat starts. And we are not allowed to do anything in the last 2 minutes before Shkiot, before sunset. If you have all your candles out and it's 2 minutes before Shabbat, you're not even, it's questionable whether you should even light one. You can't start lighting just 2 minutes before. 2 minutes before is already the buffer zone. You're not supposed to light then, because it could be a violation. I guess the Naval Observatory that has the times and keeps track of the exact time can be in error by 2 minutes. It says an allowance, 2 minutes. So we don't want to possibly violate the Shabbat. So number one, and almost number two and number three is be on time or in advance. So some people like 30 minutes in advance, like we do here in Shabbat, Spot, and some like 18 minutes in advance, I guess for life. Some like 20, some like 10, but more than, there's nobody that's supposed to like 5 before. 10 is the minimum to really be halakhically safe in what you're doing. If you violate the rule and you don't light Shabbos candles, or if you light on Shabbos, there's a lifetime penalty for that. That every single week you need to add an extra candle more than you've ever lit before. Like I think more than you lit before, you violated it. You don't have to increase every week, but you have to have an extra candle from that time forward, or if not an extra candle, a longer candle that will burn longer and add more light to compensate for your detracting from the light by violating the Shabbat. Okay, number two.
What is that time that you say not before 2 minutes? Is that, can we see on the calendar, or is that?
2 minutes
Sunset.
before Shkia.
So really we add, everybody adds 18, everybody adds, like Sibby said, 35, 30. What is spot, 30 or 35? 30, okay. 40 in Yerushalayim, you know.
I thought they were 35, they're 40?
Yerushalayim is 40.
So when we see the time on an app, that's already, they've included that time zone.
Not necessarily.
No, not
I don't know.
necessarily.
I don't know. Like if you look at Jody's calendar, Jody lists the proper spot time 30 minutes early. If you look at the list Yerushalayim 40 minutes before, it has Haifa or something, and that's the regular 18-minute time. So it's It's sort of in there. I guess it is in.
Here are number 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7. Number 2 is that a preference is given to woman lighting. And there's it harkens back to that Adam was considered a light. And when Chava tempted him, his life got extinguished. He didn't have eternal life anymore. That was extinguished. So she's trying to relight the holiness that was there before the fall. And a woman has the right, if a husband says, I'm gonna light, she has the right to overrule him in that case, which is very rare. Usually the husband gets the right to overrule a woman if she makes a vow, etc., but not in this case.
But it's not a mitzvah for the man.
It is if they're single, but also there is a mitzvah of preparing the candles before lighting, so that when the woman comes, right away they'll light. Some husbands actually light the wick and singe it so that it'll be easier to light. It won't take a while to catch. It'll catch right away, and then gets the oil ready. And by the way, there's several different kinds of light you can use. Most of us use paraffin wax lights, but the preferred, according to the Halacha, the preferred light is olive oil. And yeah, so women light, men prepare, which is opposite how it usually is. Usually the women prepare and the men do the kiddush, and they do the, yeah. So the Halacha and candle lighting is different. I tried to make everything different colors so I'd see
It's
it.
very beautiful.
But-
Show it up for the people to see it. It's dazzling.
So another thing is, where do you light? First of all, you make sure you're not by any doors or windows that are going to open that could extinguish the light. And when you light it, you're not supposed to put out the match. You're supposed to have a fireproof surface to put it on, either metal or ceramic, something like that. And where should you light if you're going to have dinner somewhere else? Should you light at home, or should you light somewhere else with family? So that the rule for Sephardi is always light at home. The rule for Ashkenazi is you can, it's preferred to light with the family that you're going to have the meal with. But if you light at home and you're Ashkenazi, when you come home, you should have a piece of cake so that you're still in the meal. You still have some part of the meal that you're having in your home if you lit at home. As you should light where you're going to eat, I guess, it's the rule. But if you have a piece of cake after you get home, that covers it.
That's a mitzvah.
It's a mitzvah.
That's a really hard one.
Yeah.
But most
You
people,
didn't have to decide if it's going to be
You're not going
chocolate
to
or caramel or what.
most people are not going to their guests' home before, until
After.
The question is
after
whether you light where you eat or you light where you sleep. And that's the discussion in the joke.
And some people are
but
at
it's so
hotels.
normal for people to right.
If they're at a hotel, then they should light with the group. It's preferable to put more light in the one place. Then the other thing is, if you have more than one person lighting, there's a controversy of whether you should light in the same room. If one person's already done the bracha, one authority says that you should not light in the same room. It's a blessing in vain. Already had said the blessing. You should light in another room and add light to that room. And then there's another saying that it's fine to adorn the mitzvah by adding more light, and that you could still light in the same room.
Simply, what says to each day?
So the source for which,
To each day, if you come
that one actually, I think, came from the women's sitter. The women's, there's a woman's sitter. I was studying that with my Torah partner in the United States.
Wasn't it the husband?
But I also have two other sources. Judy gave me this book to use, 39 Halachos, and Deborah Hoffman gave me the Practical Laws of Shabbat. And so I'm pretty sure it was in the last one in the case. Consider. Am I running out of time? All right, let's go fast.
Always.
The number of candles that you're required to light is 1. I was surprised, but that's it. You can light 2 for Shemor, Bazakor. You can light 7. You can light 1 for each soul and family. Those are all traditions, and they have some validity in that if it's a custom in the community that you do it that way. Okay. Also, giving tzedakah before lighting is important, especially if you are going to pray and want God to answer some prayers. It'd be nice if you do something for Hashem first. All right, I'm going to go to the last part. Oh, Plag Mincha. Some people start Shabbos earlier, and if the community starts Shabbos earlier, you can do it in 1.25 hours before. Those are halakhic hours, so in the summer it'd be actually more than what we call an hour and quarter. Then they're bringing in Shabbos early. If they're doing it with the intention of adding to the Shabbos, Tosfot Shabbos, then the wife is also has to take Shabbos in as well at that time. But if they're doing it because it's convenient, because they're small kids and they're hungry, then the wife doesn't have to follow that halakha. So I'm going to end with Zoe Buckman's quote. She's an artist in England, and she had a video recently, and she just recently started lighting candles on Friday night. She said, "When I light candles, I can't help but think about the woman who came before me, what it took for them to continue that tradition, to keep being Jewish. They could have much easier hid it and maybe been safer, or hid that part of themselves and been safer. But for them, it was really, really important. It was their drive to pass on this tradition, to do this ritual every week, and to keep the Judaism alive. They must really have wanted to pass it on. It would have been, oh, I said that already. She said she also, when she lights her candle, she thinks about the hostages. She thinks about the women hostages. Where are they? Are they able to light? And it brings her to tears, and should bring us to tears that we are connecting back to the women we came from. I'm connecting back to my great-grandmother every time I light, and my grandmother and my mother. And so the lighting the Shabbos candles is really important. And Hashem promised us, he'll show us the light of Zion, the light of Gula, if we like this mitzvah, if we do this mitzvah.
Okay, yay, Zippy.
Can I leave these here? Or should I
Yeah, it sort of inspires.
Okay, good.
Beautiful. I'd like to actually learn Halacha Shabbos, prepare for this class on Shabbos. Just sort of enriches. Okay, so we are continuing the laws of carrying Hotzah. Okay, and we're doing like practical inyanim, mostly d'Rabbanans. And we spoke last week about what to do about a key, and that you can't just like put a little key on a piece of string and you're wearing your key as a piece of jewelry. It has to be an integral part of, either has to be a real piece of jewelry, talking diamonds, sapphires, and or it has to be something that's like a belt that's an essential part of the belt. Okay, so what happens when you get home and can you take the key can you take a key into your house, right? Can you just carry a key into your, so I didn't sleep much. Okay, so Right. Remember that the main problem of carrying is taking something from the outside, or reshus harabim, a public area, and bringing it inside. So if you had put the key in the keyhole, by the way, is it's an exempt space. It's like that fourth category that's like everything else. But you can put the key in it. But as soon as you open the door into your house, so you've brought the key into your house. You've carried the key from a reshus harabim to a reshus hayachid. So how do you do it? So the answer is that you have to just kind of like insert it. Let's say it's part of your belt. Here's a part of your no, okay, I think your pin. But you it's part of your belt. You stick it in the keyhole. You turn it just enough so that the latch is unlatched, and you push it, not very much, because the line really between a reshus harabim and a reshus hayachid is there. So you just push it in like enough so that the latch is not going to go back into place. Okay, and then you pull out the key, and then you can open the door, and you have not carried the key into your home.
And what do you do with keys on your belt?
Keys on your belt, right. So I mean, just reminding everybody, this is talking about a situation in all these cases where there is no eruv. This is like where it's like the real thing. It has to be a very particular kind of awning. It can't just be an awning, right? Like if it's just like a little piece of thing hanging over, it's not a proper awning. It has to be solid, meaning it's flat on the bottom. Most times you make an awning and it's sloped, so it has to be flat on the bottom so that it's like a proper shape for some kind of a construction. Okay, and it also has to be like something on the side. So like a door that's just like right off the street, and it has a little awning over it, doesn't do it. If it's like kind of an L-shaped thing, so like you have one side that's a wall, right? Remember we talked way back about like you have an awning on your building. Can you throw your keys down and hit the awning? No, because that awning is considered a reshus harabim. So the same thing with this. If you have like a wall on the side and you have some kind of a other thing that holds it up on the other side, then you would be able to do it. Of course, if you have like a porch and you have a stoop and you have, we're not going to go into all of that, but that would also, in many cases, allow.
Can you lift up one of those fake rocks that has a key underneath it by your house?
It depends where it is. If it's outside, so you're going to be carrying it from the rock to the hard place.
Very good, Judy.
If I leave key close to the door, it's where it's safe.
Yeah.
Is there an issue of how far, how many steps you go?
Right. Carrying is the definition of carrying is that you go four amos. 4 amos, about a meter and a foot and 3 inches, something like that. I don't know. And difference between a meter and a foot. Good point, Karen. Very, very good point. Yeah. A foot and like a foot and a third, something like that. That is by definition. Really, you can't you can't do that. You can't say, I'm going to leave this here and I'm going to walk my 4 amos. You can't do that. If you're stuck, if you're in a situation, if you've made a mistake, if you suddenly, discover you've got this, tissue in your pocket, right? So you have the ability to be able to walk these 4 amos and to keep going until you figure out some kind of solution to that.
4 amos may stop.
We talked about it a long time. Right. That's one solution. It's quite involved. So I'm not going to go into all of that now. Okay, but I do want to talk about eyeglasses. Okay, all right. So prescription eyeglasses. It turns out, yes, you can wear your glasses, but there's a limitation. It's only in the case where you wear them all the time. like a kid who wears it just to see the board and doesn't really need them that much, needs it a little, but you don't need it to like play ball, then that person would not be able to wear glasses, even if you're wearing them for distance, if you don't wear them all the time, because the concern is that you will take them off.
What happens if you can't read and bench without your glasses?
You have a problem. I'll get to it.
No sunglasses. No sunglasses.
So yeah, sunglasses is exactly that problem. Sunglasses, you're walking along and you get into this place that's dark, right? And what's the instinct to do? So you just take it off and you put it in your pocket. Okay, and then you're just like walking along doing your little malacha. So in general, we do not wear sunglasses on Shabbos. What you are allowed, according to some opinions, is those little clip-on things. Like you can clip it on and and you flip it up. Only the kind that flips up and has a hinge. If it's just a clip, you're also just as likely to take it off. The flip up, it's so you don't take it off, right? Most people who have those, right, Kaya, you don't take it off. You just leave it clipped on there all the time, ready to flip, ready to put up, ready to put down at will. Okay, so and there you go, and that you can't do.
Never take their book.
You can't. What glasses? What kind of glasses are these? Reading glasses. Okay, which takes us to reading glasses. Reading glasses, nisht. You cannot wear them on Shabbos without in an area that doesn't have an eruv, Joe, because you don't have an eruv, because you don't need them when you're walking, right?
To bench.
Well, then you gotta work something out. You have to drop off when you drop off the bottle of wine you're giving them. Then leave the glasses there or something and come pick it up. You can't, or sometimes people have guest glasses. Sometimes you can get glasses from your house. But the reason is that you're not using them. They're just like hanging there, right? Like, and you can't even see well, right? So you like put them on your nose and you're not, who do you think you're fooling? Right. So your reading glasses are not allowed to be worn. And then finally, broken glasses, and you can wear it in a Carmelis on Shabbos, which is pretty much a rural area. You can't wear it in a Reshus HaRabim. I mean, in a regular Reshus HaRabim. Broken glasses. Okay, you have to ask a Rab. Some people say, some of them say no, some say yes. Somebody who desperately needs glasses, like, definitely has a good reason to ask. Again, the concern is you're going to make a mistake and you're going to carry it, or the lens is going to fall out again, and then you're going to want to carry it. So the answer is that you don't usually wear broken glasses, and if you do, you should ask a Rav. Okay, then one last point: contact lenses. Contact lenses you can wear; they become, because they're part of your eye. The only qualification he makes is that somebody who is new, you just got them 3 days ago, 2 days ago, and you're not used to them, and it's irritating you, and you're always, you always see people doing that thing. So people who have just got contact lenses probably should not wear them in a Reshus HaRabim. People who, other people, if you're used to it, it's a regular thing, then you may. Okay, I think that is it, and that is all. Okay, a couple of announcements. First of all, Chodesh Tov to everybody. It's nice to be out of Mar Cheshvan, and it's good to be into Kislev, which we all love. Okay, so first of all, I want to mention that the breakfast today is we have two sponsors. It's sponsored by Ilana Schechter in memory of her mother, Chava Miriam, but Yisha Yoresh. Did I do that? What's Yoresh? That's pretty interesting. Wow, that was like a advertisement. She died to marry her. Okay, a good Yoresh. That's a good one. Okay, and also it's also sponsored by Shana Elka Falk for the yahrzeit of her mother, Machana Bas Chazan David Halevi. Okay, and we thank Sippy for her beautiful words. Okay, all of our classes are, it's a Shem will happen, except for one. Shoshi's not going to be here today at 11, so you all have many other choices to make, and hopefully you'll choose another, make a wise choice and go to another class and enjoy it. 12:30, Rav Avshi Weingart will be continuing his shiur on Tomer Devorim. So that's at 12:30 to 1:30, and then we're done. Okay, just want to remind everybody that the beginning of the month, dues, if you pay monthly dues, so it's 100 shekels, 1,000 shekels into the box, whatever you want. And also, or if you want, you can just pay weekly, which means that you pay 25 for the morning, 20 for the afternoon. It's a bargain. It's a bargain to pay monthly. So really, it's probably worthwhile. Okay, we're still selling raffle tickets. Okay, it's advertised in the back. Talk to Ilana. Okay, and you'll just to win the chance to own such a beautiful object, a beautiful item. So beautiful work. So we thank Ilana for her donation, and let's go all the way. 40 more tickets. 40, yeah, okay. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. Okay. Also, I just want to mention that we our pet project, we've been trying our best to support as much as we can. Other people are, but as much as we can to support the project of providing food for soldiers. Yehudis Hoffman, who, as we know, she's a remarkable young woman, did not stop a minute. She's like, 15 minutes after giving birth, she's out there like making chicken. Not quite, but I mean very quickly. She really out into the rice fields and just a remarkable person. But she mentioned to me that they're quite in debt. They're really, and I don't really understand where that money comes from. I have a feeling it comes from her pocket. So if everybody could like dig a little bit deeper and help her and just to get out of, I know there's a lot of demands. That's the truth. There's so many needs and so many worthy things to give your money to, and it's that's our matzav at this point. But we hope that we all we'll be getting back to some kind of a normal life. Our economy will get back to normal. Tourists will once again come. The city will flower.
Just imagine you're feeding every soul. Every soul, imagine every one of us feed one soul.
Okay, that's it. Anybody else have any other announcements? What like everybody like chill pill? Like what is it? What?
My grandson is better. I want to thank everyone for coming. His phone, I see it.
Okay, everybody. So let's go learn some Chumash. Even now, nobody's talking. Like, what is I had 6-7 years, and there's my pocket. Why? Oh, Oh,
I wasn't there on Shabbos. I'm gonna be the only one at this 12 season.